Hotaru Tachibana, a high school student and student president, always looks for a fight in the name of justice to eliminate any evil commit happening around. Students aware of Hotaru's strength and fast moves avoid indulging in a fight with him, but they are unaware that Hotaru is not a guy, but is, in fact, a girl dressed all like a boy out of her nature. However, her only friend, Kane Yajima, is aware of her true identity, and others always misunderstand her because of her appearance. Hotaru's parents live overseas, so she chooses to start a new life at high school, living at one of Tsukishiro apartments. When she reaches the apartment, she overhears a handsome boy standing in front of her room, talking inappropriately in public. The guy's constant inappropriate talking pisses her off, and she smashes the door just to threaten him. The guy does not get frightened of her. Instead, he eagerly introduces himself as Masamune Matsuoka and wishes to hang out with her. Just then, Hotaru notices Masamune's gun on the ground and decides to stay at a distance from him. The following day at school, when Kane informs Hotaru she is conned by the host of one of the host clubs, Hotaru, enraged, rushes to the club to get Kane's revenge. When Hotaru enters the club, to her surprise, she gets to know the host is no other than Masamune. Hotaru tries to bring a duel with him, but before they fight, Masamune suggests fighting by playing an airsoft gun game, the survival game. If Hotaru loses, she will become Masamune's slave, but if Masamune loses, he will apologize to Kane. The game begins with Hotaru's toy gun loaded, but Masamune, the game's ace, only keeps a single bullet in the gun. Hotaru starts by bombarding fires on Masamune and is confident that she will win. But Masamune dodges her every shot, making her retreat for her next attack. She then comes forward by moving swiftly as soon as she gets close to Masamune to attack him. She remains shocked to know that she has already used all the bullets. Masamune wins the game, and he decides to invite Hotaru to join the Toy Gun team, as compensation for losing the game and destroying the club's belongings. As per the team's rule, no girl is allowed to join. But Hotaru is misunderstood and is invited to join, which she cannot deny because she has to pay the debt for the club's destruction. It also appears Kane's accusations were false, and it was she who fell in love with Masamune. The next day, Masamune wakes Hotaru early in the morning and takes her to the airsoft playing ground. Masamune enrolls in the game as a team and gives Hotaru Toy Gun team's dress. Outside the changing room, she gets to meet her other teammate Tooru Yukimura, who is a pervert and does not want Hotaru as his teammate. However, Masamune insists he agrees to participate in the game with Hotaru. The game is to enter the enemy's territory and get their flag, but the suspense is what the opponent team is rude and used to cheat. Before the game begins, Yukimura plots a plan according to which Hotaru has to enter the enemy's ground and Yukimura will cover him. The game begins, and as planned, Hotaru enters the battlefield, but Yukimura denies covering her in the game because of his dislike towards her. Masamune tells Yukimura the importance of teammates, and after some argument, he agrees to play with her. When he finally goes to her aid in the enemy's territory, he finds Hotaru cornered by the opponent, but she plays with the belief that Yukimura will cover her. It melts Yukimura's heart, and he decides to play as a real teammate. Yukimura and Masamune then battle with the opponent team, and Hotaru goes to take their flag. Near the flag, she swiftly fights off the opponent's cheat player and returns with the flag and victory. After the game ends, Yukimura, a famous porn manga artist, offers Hotaru his manga as a friendly gesture. But since Hotaru is a girl, she finds the manga disgusting and throws it in the trash. The team builds a bond, and they continue playing afterward. Although Hotaru is playing only to pay her debt for destroying the club, she enjoys the game and the time she spends with Masamune and Yukimura. After participating in further airsoft games, Hotaru finally pays off all her debt and leaves airsoft to go back to her normal high school life. Even after getting back to normal, her aspiration for airsoft does not end, making her feel anxious and dull. One day, Hotaru receives a black envelope at her apartment in Yukimura's name. Thinking that the envelope is delivered to the wrong address, she goes to Yukimura's apartment to hand over the envelope. Inside Yukimura's apartment, she finds multiple guns, and soon after holding a gun, she feels immense pleasure for being an airsoft player. Meantime, Yukimura and Masamune arrive at the apartment, and Masamune, after seeing Hotaru's passion for airsoft, welcomes her back into the team. He also gives her a money envelope as a treat for paying her debt to buy her first gun. The next day, Hotaru with Yukimura goes to buy the gun, and during the talk, Yukimura explains about the black envelope, which is an invitation to the TGC, Top Gun Combat Tournament, given to those teams that have potential and skill. However, the winner of the tournament has many privileges and is also recognized as the best airsoft team in Japan. On the way to buy the gun, Yukimura finds his favorite limited edition porn game and handing Hotaru the words, "Going on," sends her to the gun shop alone. At the gun shop, when Hotaru does not understand anything, a handsome guy, Nagamasa Midori, helps her select the best gun according to her body shape. While paying for the gun, Hotaru does not find enough money in the envelope. She recalls Yukimura's words, "Going on," and tells them to the shopkeeper. After hearing the words, the shopkeeper takes Hotaru to the upper room. In the meantime, Yukimura reaches the shop and has an angry encounter with his old airsoft mate come enemy, Nagamasa. The shopkeeper, Toshizu Usagi, engages Hotaru in a shooting test, and if she passes, she will be rewarded with the gun of her choice. When Hotaru performs terribly in the shooting, she pledges Usagi to judge her with a different test. Usagi hands over the gun she chose before and instructs her to hit him once while he runs on the airsoft battlefield. In the field, while running from Hotaru, Usagi feels immense bloodlust and passion from her and finds her a good player despite her terrible shooting. In the end, Hotaru fails to hit Usagi, but being inspired by her swift moves and aspiration, he gives her the gun. 2 weeks before the TGC tournament, the Toy Gun Gun team goes to have a practice match with other teams. Even though Hotaru is filled with excitement to play airsoft again, she ends up being hit in the starting minutes of the game. Masamune scolds her for her terrible performance, and because of her rude response, he decides to make her play with a different team. Hotaru stays sad because she believes Masamune kicked her out of the team, but the other team leader, Sagara, cheers her up. She shows Hotaru Masamune and Yakamura's game tactics and also informs her that they care about her and want her to perform well. After being motivated by Sagara, Hotaru apologizes to Masamune and pledges him to take her back in the team. Later, Sagara informs Hotaru that she wishes to join Top Gun Gun, but she can't since girls are not allowed to join the team because of some tragic incident that happened to the former girl of the Top Gun Gun team. Sagara's words keep Hotaru disturbed the whole day. Later the day, during the fun airsoft match in Tsukishiro Apartment's backyard, Hotaru asks Yukimura about the former team girl. Yukimura reveals that once during the airsoft battle, the girl was cornered by the other team, and Masamune failed to save her. Masamune doesn't allow any girl to join because he doesn't want to feel he cannot save a girl. After this, for the rest of the time, Hotaru can't focus because her sense of justice doesn't allow her to deceive her teammates. But then Hotaru gathers her thoughts, and before revealing her identity, decides to defeat that guy in TGC in order to take Masamune's revenge on him. Finally, the day of the TGC tournament arrives, with Hotaru super excited to play with strong players. But soon after arriving at the tournament field, she feels immense pressure and fright. Hotaru also gets to meet Nagamasa there, and, as usual, finds him a kind and gentle man. Later, it reveals to her that the boy who traumatized Toy Gun Gun was none other than Nagamasa. Soji Kaminashi, the TGC organizer, explains the game rules, and the game begins with Toy Gun Gun going against the Nagamasa Hoshishiro team in the first round. The first round begins, and Masamune devises a plan to separate the opponent team's players and fight with them one-on-one. Masamune sends Hotaru to battle with the opponent team's minigun user and an assault destroyer, Takatora Fujimoto. Meanwhile, Yudimura battles with the sniper girl Ichi. Being afraid of a minigun shot, Hotaru first intends to hide and defend herself, but then she comes out and, with sharp moves, jumps over Fujimoto's minigun and hits him. After defeating a strong player, Fujimoto, she then goes to help Yukimura and Masamune, who are still struggling to fight with Ichi and Nagamasa. Masamune tries to hit Nagamasa, but he dodges every shot and takes him down with his swift moves. Nagamasa brutally hits Masamune multiple times in a single spot until he gets out of bullets. When Nagamasa is done by severely injuring his old friend Yukimura shows up there. He withdraws from the fight with Ichi and comes to Masamune's rescue. But just like Masamune, he also ends up beaten brutally by Nagamasa. When Hotaru arrives, she gets shocked to find her friends in the injured state. It raises her soul of justice, and she brings crazy combat with Nagamasa. Just when she is about to shoot Nagamasa, by mentioning her identity as a girl, makes her guard down and shoots her. This way, Toy Gun Gun loses the first round, and after other matches, the tournament ends with Hoshishiro standing victorious. After the tournament, Hotaru goes back to her everyday high school life and does not even get to meet with Masamune and Yukimura. However, Toy Gun Gun never gets out of her head. When she can't bear the anxiety anymore, she shares everything with Kanae, who motivates her to play airsoft again with Toy Gun Gun. That day, when Hotaru returns to the apartment from school, she gets invited to a barbecues party by Masamune at Yukimura's apartment. After the dinner, when Hotaru gathers the courage to reveal her identity, Masamune kicks her out of the team, declaring that he cannot defeat Nagamasa by adding another teammate. Hotaru, heartbroken, decides to meet and battle Nagamasa because she doubts that Nagamasa informed Masamune about her real identity, making him kick her off the team. Nagamasa engages Hotaru in a shooting duel and stands victorious over her. He also tells her that he didn't reveal her identity to her teammates. In the end, Nagamasa advises her to go back and reunite her team. Hotaru then returns to Yukimura, and he informs her Masamune is not fighting against Nagamasa to take her former girl teammate's revenge, but there is tension between both of them, making them each other's rivals. After listening to Yukimura, Hotaru shows her decision to help Masamune. When Masamune comes back from work, Hotaru, just like the first time they met, challenges him to a duel. Yukimura and Hotaru take Masamune to TGC's playsite, where Hotaru will fight Masamune in the airsoft. During the whole time on the battlefield, Hotaru keeps on trying to bring Masamune out of his past fear of making his teammates injured. She also tries to free him from Nagamasa's phobia. After some struggle, Hotaru ends up succeeding in motivating Masamune to accept her in the team back and prepare for the next TGC tournament as an airsoft lover team. Now that everything has been sorted, Hotaru is confident that she can expose her real identity, but has not yet spoken on this matter. We hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be notified of our future videos. See you next time!